Thank you for coming back to our session.
Thank you for having me.
So just before we start our session, I just want to go over the rules again. So again, this is a safe zone. This is your place to express yourself. Tell me anything you want, anything you're willing to share. If you don't want to talk, we can play games, and then we can talk. Or, like I said, this is your time. This is your time to be yourself and to express yourself. But if you do say something, you share something that can be harmful to yourself or to others, I will have to report that. Okay, you understand that part?
Mm-hmm.
You still remember that? Okay, so like I said, anything you want to share stays here, but if it's dangerous, then I will have to speak up about it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just for your own well-being and for your welfare. So, how have you been since I last saw you?
Good. Good. I've been good. Right now I'm kind of tired.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, tired from what?
Long weekend.
Long weekend.
Busy weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went on a trip. So coming back was really hard. Hard because it was like 15 hours.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a long trip, and I don't like to be in airplanes for too long. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry you feel that way. Besides the past weekend, how were you feeling all the other days, like at school?
Good. Excited for the trip. We went to Washington D.C. So
okay,
it was cool. It was cool to see all like the monuments and everything. So I was excited for sure, but now I'm just like kind of drained and tired from it.
So yeah, that's trips can be like that. You're so excited, and when it happens, you do all this stuff, and then just coming back home is a little exhausting. Getting ready for the whole new week
right.
can be too much. Okay, so that's good. So for today, just so I can understand exactly what you were feeling and how, like, what caused your certain feelings. Like you said, your trip, towards the end, it was kind of hard and rough. So do you know what a timeline is?
I think.
Go ahead. If you want to share, try to tell me what a timeline is.
Just kind of what, like in order, chronological order, something in order.
Okay, so it's like from beginning to end,
yes.
and like how certain events, right? So in our lives, we have a timeline, right? Even from just last week to now, like there are certain events that took place that happened to us that we were a part of. So today, I want you to make a timeline about the whole week since the last time I saw you. So I saw you last Monday. So I want you to just make a timeline for each day, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even today, on just how you felt during those days. You don't have to be too specific. You can just put like your emotion, you're happy, you're sad. And if you even want to put a little note like on why it was, because last week I had told you your homework was for you. I wanted you to try to think of things, even if you wrote it down, that would have been awesome. Just to take notes, so that way I can help you through those. I want to see how you cope in and out of school. Since we only have this time, weekly time, I want to check in with your whole week. Okay? I'll give you a piece of paper and a pen, and just whichever way you want to do it.
So let's start from Monday. Okay.
So seems like your timeline is like a roller coaster of emotions. You put here Monday, Tuesday, you're happy. They're both normal days. Wednesday, you were anxious and excited for your trip. I know how that feels. You're very, you want to get to it already. Were you, Wednesday, were you kind of getting like, what is the word, impatient with the day? You kind of like wanted the day to be over, because then you said Thursday was your trip. Yeah, so that's very normal. It's very normal for you to feel anxious and excited, especially when you have all these things planned. So it says here you were in Washington D.C. from Thursday to Sunday. Okay, so you were happy and excited that whole trip, but sad to leave, right? And then today you feel tired, annoyed, and exhausted, and those are not really good feelings to have, right? Especially when you had such a good weekend, a good week of excitement and fun. So it says, so you were happy, excited for the trip, and then at the trip you were having so much fun. You were there for a wedding, and then you said you were sad to leave for DC. So let's go on that. Try to tell me how the end of your trip went. It seems like the end of your trip made you feel how you feel today, tired, annoyed, and exhausted. So tell me what happened. Are you able to tell me what happened?
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be in a different place, like away from home, and it's like really fun to travel and be in new places. But I think there's always like that that sadness to have to go back to like the daily grind, basically, and like back to business as usual, basically. So I mean, it's always bittersweet because you are sad to leave that place, but it's always so nice to be home. But I think that I was thinking, because I have to be on an airplane for so long, that I was dreading the travel part, but I was excited or anxious to get back home.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying that you're scared. Are you scared to go on the plane? Like or you're just like you just don't want to be in the plane for that long?
A little bit of both, because I don't like to, like the taking off and the landing is the scary part.
Yeah.
It being in the air or whatever, it's fine, but it's the taking off and landing. But also, I can't sit down for too long because then my my throat's going. But my neck starts to hurt, like my back. So sitting in an airplane, it's not good. It's not fun. So, and I can't sleep on it, so it's kind of hard. To have to be in there for a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're sad to leave the new place, the new trip, yet you're excited to go home, but you're not excited to take the trip
to get home. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we just snap our fingers and we could be home?
So great.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really like the going home part, the traveling part. It is exhausting. So let's talk about the plane ride home. How are you feeling? You said only the taking off and the landing was too much. But is there anything else that happened? Did you have a smooth ride home?
No.
I was like, oh no, what happened?
So our original flight was supposed to go from DC to I think St. Louis and then back to LA to LAX. But something happened on the plane, like before we took off. On the plane to go to St. Louis, they had to change our flight to go from. So we were already on the plane, and like everything like set, like all of our stuff was out because we were ready to be on the flight, and then they changed our flight, so that we had to get off the plane and then onto another one. So then we had to go to another plane, and then I had my luggage, and the plane before that was a newer one.
Okay.
So they had bigger overhead storage, so my luggage could fit. But it's like slightly bigger than, a carry-on luggage. And so the next plane was an older plane, so it didn't fit. Okay. So they had to check my bag, which I hate to check bags because, especially if you have a layover, you don't know if it's actually going to get to the next plane.
Yes.
And then we got back to LA, and so they checked our bag, and I didn't have it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. and not thinking too much of it. But we got to LA, and then all the luggage came out except mine.
Oh no!
So I didn't even get it back yet.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for it to come back. They're supposed to deliver it to me.
Oh, I'm so sorry
So
that
I-
happened. So not only were you dreading your whole trip back home on the plane, that's another anxiety you have to deal with, is whether your bags are gonna get here or not, right?
And they
So-
didn't.
And they didn't, yes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm you know, that's a very unfortunate thing to go through. Now you have this anxiety whether you don't know if it's gonna come back to you. How do you feel right now? How do you feel about the whole suitcase coming back to you?
Definitely anxious. Because one time Southwest, I lost my wallet on another trip in the I think on the airplane or in the airport or something, and I had filed the claim and everything, and I got it back. Ultimately, I got it back, but prior to getting my wallet back, they sent me a different person's wallet.
Yeah.
And so I had to send it back and wait for mine. And so I'm like thinking, like, what if they send me the wrong bag?
Yeah.
So hopefully I get the right one back. But-
Well, you know, like you said, you're anxious because you had another incident from the same airline company that you got the wrong wallet. But you said they were able to get your wallet back. So
Yeah.
it's good to see that you are, although you are anxious, you're also hopeful. You know, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing to be hopeful and to be positive, because it sounds like you had such a negative experience, a 15-hour flight back home, and just constantly changing flights, and then your luggage goes missing. You seem, you know, it's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to mope around and be sad, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get my stuff, you know. But it's good that you have that past experience to kind of bring you back to a positive sense of what can happen. Yeah, well, I hope your luggage gets back to you.
I hope so too.
Yeah. So going back to your trip, besides, it seems Sunday was when you were going through all that trouble going home. Yesterday. Right, so
Yeah.
it makes sense why you're tired and annoyed. And even though you feel that way, I'm glad that you came to the session. You know, this is why you should go to the session. You don't have to always be happy and upbeat to come to this session. Like, I want you to come in any emotion, in any state, just so that way I can help you point out things that you may not see. You know, like me, by you talking and me listening, it helps me understand you, and it helps me help you look at a different way. So besides Sunday, we already passed the negative parts. Let's talk about your happy days, your trip. Tell me what happened, tell me the highlights of your trip, the positive parts.
One thing that stands out to me the most, well, we went for a wedding, so it was a really nice, beautiful wedding, and they had it in a barn.
Okay.
Like, the reception was in a barn, and then the wedding was a little bit. It was in the same place, but it was like in the. It wasn't in the woods, but there were trees all around, and then the sun was setting on the couple and everyone, and there was like really tall trees in the back. I don't know what kind of trees they were, but that was really nice. But the thing that stands out to me the most is that, because the wedding was in Annapolis, at I think the couple's like parents' house or something. But in Annapolis, there's a Navy academy, so you see a lot of people like dressed in their Navy uniform, and so we were at the harbor, and that's where a lot of them. I mean, it's the Navy, so of course they're going to be by the harbor. And they were walking around, and there were these like 5 or 6 Navy guys eating ice cream cones. So it was fun to see. Like, it was just funny to see that.
Yeah.
Like, it was a cute little, I don't know, thing that you're saying, like very funny kind of.
Like, ironic.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
supposed to be like tough military.
Yeah, but they're like all licking their ice cream cones. And all their ice cream was like a different color.
Oh,
so I was like, this is such a cool picture. I didn't take a picture, because we were driving by, so we didn't stop to see it.
Yeah.
So that was one, and then we went to get. We had crab cakes. Apparently, we stayed in Maryland,
Okay.
which is where like the wedding was and stuff. But they had. That's what they're known for is their crab cakes and like their seafood. So we tried the crab cakes and they were really good. So, yeah, the food, the wedding, Navy guys.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very a good positive trip. You you were able to experience a nice wedding, like that ironic picture.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? How do you feel that you didn't take the picture? I know you photography is such a big thing.
Regretful that I didn't stop to take it, but also, I mean, with photography, that's kind of like you have to find the balance of being in the moment and then capturing the moment because you can't. A lot of the time, you can't do both.
Yes.
I mean, you can, but only to an extent. Like if, let's say, I photographed a wedding or something, I have to focus on taking the picture rather than like, oh my gosh, these people are getting married.
Yeah.
So there's always that thing, but yeah, I do wish that we had stopped to like take the picture.
Yeah.
But it's in my mind.
Yeah, that's another way you took a mental picture. That's good. So, how would you, for the next trip, how would you prepare for that differently? Would you prepare it in a different way? Are you going to be, sorry, let me rephrase that. Are you going to be, for your next trip, because you had such an awful experience coming home and because of your luggage,
Yeah.
Do you think that will affect your next trip that you go on?
I don't think so. I mean, that's just the nature of travel. I think that, like, you really never know. There's so many things that could happen, like in an airport or whatever. Like a different flight from a completely different state or city could affect yours.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I mean, it's annoying, but that's just kind of what, the good trips, like the actual trip is what makes the crappy travel kind of worth it. Like whatever, I had a good time wherever I was going, wherever I was, and at least I'm going home.
Yeah.
So it's the in between that sucks, but it won't stop me from going other places.
Good. I'm glad that you won't let that affect you. I know that because it happened to you twice already. You lost your wallet, you lost your luggage, and I'm glad that you're resilient and that you don't let that affect your future decisions. Like you could have, like like you said, you lost your wallet. You could have been like, you could have been more anxious every time you leave somewhere because you're scared you're gonna lose your wallet.
Yeah.
But that's really good. On a timeline, you noted that today you're tired, annoyed, and exhausted. So I understand that you're tired because of the travel, exhausted from the travel, and just thinking. How are you feeling? Are you still feeling annoyed?
I wouldn't say like. I mean, I'm annoyed because like I still don't have my bag, but I mean, not enough to be like in a bad mood or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like there's like some stuff in there that I keep thinking like, oh, I'll go use that, but I don't have it because it's in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the annoying part is that I mean, it's like my workout stuff, like my shoes are in there. So I wanted to go on a run today, but my running shoes are in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I'm sorry you're not able to go running.
That's okay. Rest day.
Do you feel a little better with this time that you were able to talk about it? I know it just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So I can tell, like, when we first started, you were kind of like vague with your details about what happened, but you're able to talk about it now, and it's such a fresh subject, but you're able to laugh about it.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's really good, and I'm glad that like I said earlier, that you took the time to come meet with me, regardless of your situation. Like tired, exhausted, you could have asked to skip this one so that way you can rest. But I'm really glad that you came. Okay. Do you have anything else to share? Do you have any questions? No?
Thanks for seeing me.
You're welcome. So, did they specify when they're gonna give you your luggage back?
The estimated delivery, they said there's a 4 to 6 hour window, and they called me at like 5.
Oh.
So it's probably gonna come at 11.
Okay. So let me know. Yeah. No.
Because I'm already tired and now I can't sleep.
Are you a little bit anxious?
Yeah, because I mean, I just because now it's like on a van, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, what if they like drop off the wrong ones? Or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Deal with it when it comes.
You have such a positive attitude. Continue with that positivity, and if they already confirmed that they're gonna bring it to you, it's just the waiting part now.
Yeah.
That's where the anxiety and the anxiousness comes from. But just try to cope with it. Try not to count the hours. Just do what you need to do, and then when the doorbell comes, you'll have it. And I hope that happens later today, so that way, hopefully we don't have to talk about how your luggage didn't come.
How they lost it completely.
Yeah. So I'm being positive for you, and you to continue to be positive. But yeah, so I'll see you next Monday. Okay. But if you need to see me before then, you know where my classroom is and what my number is. Okay. All right. So I'll see you next week. Thank you.